All right, so this may or may not be a photo of Laban's birthplace, but it is a building in Bratislava, also known as Pressburg under the Germans and Pozsony under the Hungarians. And here we have some indicators of what Laban was interested in as a young man. He was very interested in puppetry. He had his own puppet theater. He was very interested in spectacle. He was at this point living in Budapest with his family. His father was in the military. His mother was a socialist from England, or her family was from England anyway. He was very interested in other cultures, and he traveled with his father to Istanbul and apparently studied with a Sufi teacher there. He was very interested in nature, and here's a photograph of the hills around Budapest and near Bratislava as well. And he was very interested in cafe society, which was very prevalent in Europe, in Eastern Europe particularly at that time, which is in the 1890s. Here he is as a young man. You can see the twinkle in his eye. You can see that he's very somber. And he writes in A Life for Dance that he became very interested in, particularly in tableau vivant. He says, it needed a special occasion to open my eyes to the fact that in the moving picture, and of course film is very young at this point, lies hidden a tremendously enhanced expression of human will and feeling. So he's very interested in how the use of photography and film particularly could enhance or clarify what human beings were doing in movement. Then came a memorable day when I discovered tableau vivant. This is something that he was very interested in. And of course, it goes along with the puppetry as well. His interest in puppetry and spectacle. Okay. His father was in the military and wanted Laban to study in the military. So he went to Wiener Neustadt, which is the military academy not too far from Vienna, Austria, where he studied a very interesting curriculum of the time. Look at this: fencing, horsemanship, ballroom dance, because if you're a military officer, you have to be able to comport yourself appropriately. And he also, of course, studied diplomacy and policy. There was very little in here about fighting. Still, he hated it. He married Martha Fricke, his first wife, and they moved to Munich first, where there's a lot going on in Munich at this time. We're talking about 1898 to 1901. Marx and Engels, Freud, and anarchists like Michael Bakunin are starting to emerge, and the role of the individual within or in contrast to the concerns of the group is also emerging at this time. This is also a time where people are getting